Here are some clarifications on the anchoring technique that I hope will help. The anchoring technique is really based on association learning. You associate one thing with another. We've been doing that our whole lives, so that idea of association should be fairly familiar to you. But what we're doing with this anchoring association is called one trial learning. That is, you learn from one learning encounter, one learning association. Just like you learn a trauma, you don't have to have lots of car accidents to learn to have a bad feeling about being in a car accident. And there are other one trial learnings that we often have, and they're often associated with emotions. So, what we are doing is trying to set up a strong one trial learning situation that will counter the one trial learning that you may have gotten with a trauma or an anxiety or other kind of bad feeling or whatever you're trying to work with. To get a good one trial learning, you need a unique external association. It has to not be associated with any other learning or other thing that you do because that will interfere. We don't get benefit from anchors if they're associated with a lot of other things or even one other thing. So it needs to be unique and it needs to have a feel. And that's not easily definable, but that's why physical sensations tend to be best because you know when you're feeling a physical sensation. However, anchors could be based on a picture that gives you an emotional feeling that's unique. Or I had a friend who carried what she called a knobby. It was a small square of cloth that had little bumps in it, and she could rub her fingers over it. That would be a feel that gave her a soothing sensation. And it was unique because she didn't associate it with any other thing that she did. So there can be a variety of things that could be your external association for your one trial learning. But again, physical sensations tend to be the strongest, the clearest, the best, and are able to be designed so that they are unique. This is why words tend to be bad for this anchoring, because they tend not to be unique. In addition, words may not have sufficient feel, and if they do, it's likely you'll talk about them, and therefore they'll be associated with a lot of other things. So that's why words tend not to be good anchors. The same tends to be true for music or sound associations. We tend to have multiple associations to songs or music, so they tend not to be unique, even though they might have a strong emotional feel for you. Problem with these anchors not being unique is that when you get association overlap, it wipes out or confuses the association, the learned association, and therefore you lose the value of your anchor. It disappears. Therefore, you spend all this time developing it and it no longer works. So that's why unique and good, clear, strong feel are key components to building a useful anchor. I gave the example of the pressure of a thumb and an index finger because that tends to be relatively unique, and you can make it unique so that you don't use the pressure of your thumb and index finger for anything else. And it can give you a strong external feeling to match the internal emotional brain feel that is strong that you're going to be developing in your anchor. Also, thumb and index finger pressure tends to be convenient. It goes with you wherever you go, so you can use it wherever. And it tends to be not that observable in social situations so that you can use it at any time. You don't have to wait until you're isolated or away from people or anything like that. But there's nothing magical about fingers or just one hand. And I didn't make that clear in the writing that I did. I actually usually use both thumb and index fingers on both hands. That's just me. It gives me a better, unique feel, and I virtually never press my thumbs and index fingers in both hands at the same time, and so it keeps it unique. But it could be a fist. The problem is a lot of people will make a fist unconsciously for a variety of reasons when they get angry or something like that. And so then you get an overlap and you lose your anchor. So fists tend not to be unique enough, but they could be for some people. Crossing your fingers. If you don't do that on a regular basis, if you don't cross your fingers for good luck or whatever, you may be able to use crossing your fingers as your external anchor. Or you could cross your fingers on both hands. But some people do that for good luck. And then that would make the anchor not unique and it would associate it with something else, luck, and it would wipe it out. So you can use any external physical association, but it has to be unique. So you don't wipe out your anchors and then have confusion with that overlap and trying to reestablish your anchor. The reason for having an internal and an external sensation and have them merge is because otherwise the association and learning are weak. If you don't merge your external, like your finger pressure, and your internal, like your feeling of calm or relaxation or soothing or happiness or whatever you decide emotionally to anchor, if you don't get that to merge with your external sensation so that they are blended, so that they are one, then your anchor will not be as strong and it will tend to disappear. And you'll have to re-anchor. And if you've developed a confusion in that overlap, then your re-anchoring may not work as well, and so forth. You want a strong long-term association to counter the strong long-term association that you are trying to overcome. Like a trauma has a strong long-term association, or an anxiety does, or whatever else you're dealing with. So I hope these clarifications help you feel better about anchors. I've worked with them for years and years and years, and I've seen nothing but good success when anchors are done well. And they've helped a lot of people that I've known, and they've helped myself. And there is good research reasons for it. Therefore, that's why I included it in this work that we are doing with sound and feeling and so forth. And one last thing, I'm sorry the sound cut out quickly on that written information that I gave you about the anchoring technique. YouTube makes it so hard to replace your videos without wiping everything out that's associated with the video. I decided to keep it even though the sound cuts off quickly so that you have that information in writing and now you have this spoken since my voice has come back pretty well. you have a verbal clarification on anchoring. So I wish you well.